Back to school anxiety in neurodivergent children. Hey there, I'm Charlotte with Colorful Teaching for You. Thank you so much for joining me. Now, the first few weeks of school can be super exciting, but also jittery for some children. For neurodivergent children or those who have sensory processing differences, though, this can be a time of great and intense anxiety. So we are actually going to look at how to help them, because with unfamiliar students, with new teachers, changes in routines, and school environment in general, many children may struggle. So the good news, though, is that when teachers and parents know what to look for and how to respond to their kids, it can make a huge difference in the way our children adapt to the school year and how they feel a sense of confidence. So before we move on to any actionable steps, let's look at what we might notice in our children if they are exhibiting signs of anxiety. So, for example, you might have children stating that they have headaches or stomach aches. They might have meltdowns. You might have kids who exhibit signs of withdrawal or irritability. They might complain a lot or have nightmares at home, or they might have difficulty self-regulating. Keep in mind, though, every child is different, so the way they react to anxiety is very, very different. But these are some of the signs you might notice. Okay, remember that. Remember to remind your children that this is not a sign of weakness. This is just a sign that they are being asked to do more than they are capable of in that moment. But in time, with the right support, they're going to be able to adapt to this situation. Okay, so let's get started. There's 3 steps. The first step I've actually looked at is for parental support. Then we're going to look at teachers and additional support. Okay, so let's get started with parent support first. If you are at home and you're noticing your child exhibiting signs of anxiety, we're going to look at 3 different things that you can do. And the reason I'm starting with parents is because home, for many children, not all, but for many children, is their safe space. So they're going to let out a lot of emotions, right? And this is where we see if they're feeling anxious. So the first thing you're going to be doing is practice the routine of the day before and after school. So what you don't have control over the actual school day, but what are we going to do before school, and what are we going to do after school? Practice that, turn it into a routine so that it's something that they can just do right away and not feel as stressed out about. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is create a visual schedule for your morning and after school activities or routines, so that they are able to see exactly what's expected of them and they know what to do. Okay, you can get a visual schedule by going to the description where it says full episode and click on step number 1 where it says parental support at home. Okay, now the second part of this, the second strategy you're going to use, is to talk to your children about common situations that they're going to face at school. Perhaps it's going to an assembly, or it's organizing their backpack. Just role play with your kids so that they know exactly what they need to do. You can practice also what they can say to friends and in different circumstances with social stories that I've created. They're all free. You can get access to this by checking out the link in the description where it says full episode. Go again to step number 1 for parental support. The second point is where you'll find access to that. Step number 3 for parental support again is you may want to focus on teaching your children how to self-regulate so that they learn how to manage their anxiety when they're in school. I'm going to talk more about that in the teacher section. And there's a resource that you could use. You can go to either the parent section or the teacher section and get access to that. Okay, so we're now moving on to the teacher section. Okay, so here, first thing I like to do when I meet my kids is I like to greet them right away so that you build that connection right away and they don't feel so isolated. Okay, second step is to create what I've already talked about for parents, is to create a visual schedule so your children know exactly what's expected of them from the first moment that they enter your classroom right till the very end of the day. But I also want you to create a mini version of it put it on their desk so that it can serve as a checklist and a motivator for them. Okay. Now the third point in this is to create a calm space for your children to learn how to self-regulate and to manage their emotions. Now, if you would like either if you're a parent or a teacher to join the waitlist for my course, ADHD and Autism Self-Regulation Space, I'd love to have you in there, because we're going to go through in a step-by-step format, and I'm actually going to do with you how to create a space for your child, what you need, and what to look for. We're going to look at how to teach your children to manage their emotions, both inside either the classroom or home, or outside in the when they go out with you. And we're also going to look at how to advocate for the needs of our children as well. Okay. And the fourth step in this section is to create a buddy system for your children. So either they are working with them, they're playing with them. It allows them to run ideas by them, work on transitions with this person, so that they're not feeling as lonely and they feel a sense of connection with your classroom and the peers in your class. Okay. Now, if all of this doesn't work and you're noticing that there's still some anxiety taking place after a few weeks of them being in class, so I'm talking right now, we are it's been when this video comes out, it's mid-October. I want you to implement these strategies first. If you've implemented these strategies, give them a few weeks. So probably till December, maybe into January. And if you're noticing that they're still feeling super anxious, then there's something going on, something else is going on. And what I want you to do at this point is I want you to check with your child's pediatrician, occupational therapist, behavior therapist, or even a child-friendly therapist to see what other strategies you can implement, or maybe to see if there's an underlying issue there that has not been resolved. Okay. The second thing is, whether you're a teacher or a parent, I want you to be able to assess what has worked and what's not working. You may also want to talk to your child about it as well. Okay. If they are able to communicate their thoughts. Now, it might also be worthwhile to go back and review your child's individualized education plan, so their IEP, to see if any tweaks need to be made. All right, so let's look at everything we've talked about, because I've given you quite a bit here. We have looked at the signs that your child might be struggling might be struggling with in school in regards to anxiety, and we've also looked at 3 different ways to help your child. So we've looked at parental support at home, and I've got 3 different strategies there for you. We've looked at teacher support in the classroom. I've got 4 different strategies there for you. And we've also looked at additional support if what you've already done after a few weeks is not working. There's 3 different methods there for you. Now, if this is a lot for you and you need and you want to keep track of what we've talked about today, go to the link in the description where it says full episode, and I've actually typed everything out for you so that you can kind of keep track of everything as you work through it, or as you implement the strategies. Okay. If you have any questions though, please feel free to message me. In the meantime, remember to create, experience, and teach from the heart. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you again, same place, same time next week. Take care, my friends. Bye.